There are new notes about the new it's called father-son bonding. True, yes. But Peter, yes, there are in fact official notes about it. Bam. All right, so we are looking at this one. So this is something that we knew was coming via the partner Discord as of today. And this is the official notes about the changes to combat rating. So we posted the update earlier today. So they posted the update, which we already covered in today's video, but then we also are going to talk about the different legendary items in a second to see who are the winners and losers of, or potentially even the new meta class for these new essences. And I truly, this will be my first reaction looking at it. I literally have not seen them yet, but they also just posted this about 2 hours ago. So Inferno difficulties, the combat rating, let me switch it to this screen. The combat rating requirements for Inferno 5 have been reduced from 45,666 to 44,765. And the requirement of Inferno 5 dungeons have been reduced from 46,000 to 44,900. Developers notes the previous values were Inferno 5 for Inferno 5 were higher than intended, so the reduction was made to bring them in line with other difficulties. Reliquary bosses. Developers notes the combat rating requirement to fight various Reliquary boss Inferno 4 and 5 has been reduced. The reduction brings it in line with the other combat rating changes made to the difficulties overall. So you can see that's going down from 45.6 to 44.7, and then Inferno 5 will be 45.8 to 45.2, and then 46.3 to 45.8. So basically this means, of course they did it after some of us put in all the work. Yeah, Ellie, so here's my thing. I don't know how much of this was actually on accident. I'm gonna be honest. Red, there you go. That's awesome. I can't like anything. I'm not logged in. That's toxic. So yeah, this is good. I honestly don't know how much of this was on purpose though. I think they were doing this, like, I thought this was by design, and I think they just going off the feedback were like, hey, okay, we should probably turn this down. So that is official. That they are lowering everything. So as of Wednesday, when the patch notes hit, we will have the corrected rating. So everything will be more in line with what we are typically used to when we go into the new one. They need to drop it too so I can perform. Yeah. All right, so this is good news. Thank you, sir. So this is good news and brings a lot of positivity and energy back to the game and the community. Good changes. I6 may be in line even with previous assumptions due to the newly added 5 set levels. That's the other thing. So they also, for the pre-farm. Oh, I can pre-farm. I thought you perform. So yeah, they also are adding 5 additional levels for our set gear. So our set gear, instead of being capped at 20, are now going to be capped at 25, which is also going to be giving us incremental amount of combat rating increase. So this is good. So between Wednesday and getting to Paragon 700, so we're Paragon 700 and getting I5 secondaries, we're all going to be getting a pretty nifty jump in in combat rating. So you can see I'm at 44.9. So based off that, I will obviously be able to clear all of this, and then I'll be knocking on the door of 45.2. If I put all my set gear on, like my good combat ratings or my highest set gear, for even just I4, I'm over 45. So I could probably do the first boss of Inferno 5, on Wednesday, even assuming I don't hit Paragon 700 in time, which hopefully I do. Hopefully we do a number on that today. But let's also talk about the new legendary essences. Now, chat, I need y'all's help, but the changes will be gone. What changes? Oh, but the challenge will be gone. Yes, the challenge will be gone. I see what you're saying, James. That's true. This is fair. All right, so I have not read these yet. Now, I obviously don't know all of the classes. So we need to figure out, we're going to try to rank them. I want to figure out who the top 3 meta classes are according to the new essences, okay? All of this could change dramatically based off of, how they impact existing builds and all that, but we're assuming just the winners based off of these new legendary essences. All right, chat? So I need your help. Barbarian. Challenge Rift season reset February 17th. All right, so we have until Friday for Challenge Rift season. That's actually good comms. That's good comms. So again, Challenge Rift season resets February 17th. Make note of that. Push it for right now, and then it'll reset on Friday for that. Although Diablo on I5 was no challenge. All right, James, flex it on. He says, flex it on. That's Monday. I thought the 17th was Valentine's Day. Am I dumb? I'm dumb. A week from today, Monday. Raggy. When's Valentine's Day? The 14th? I know things. I know this. The 14th is Valentine's Day. The 17th is Monday. Oh, fuck. Whoopsie. All right, so now Barbarian. Let's see who the winners and losers are of these new essences. So Iron Tusk is a main hand. When Demoralize hits an enemy, your critical hit chance is increased by 5%. For 3 seconds, up to a maximum of 15%. So if it hits 3 enemies, you get 15% additional crit hit. A for effort. Promise Sunrise, offhand. When Demoralize hits an enemy, your attack and movement speed increases by 5% for 3 seconds, up to a maximum of 15%. So again, Demoralize, if it hits 3 people, we're getting additional crit hit chance up to 15. Our attack and movement speed is increased by 15% as well. Now the chest. Furious Charge cooldown is reduced by 0.04 seconds, or 1 energy is restored for every yard you travel. I see. Who was it that said that we're getting a new helicopter class? Here it is. It's on the barb. So Furious Charge is for the pants. Okay, so a dominable spirit. Pants. Furious Charge is now channeled, causing you to constantly run forward, damaging enemies you run through while being immune to knockback. Okay. Now, Headpiece. Demoralize now empowers your steps with wind, causing your movement speed to emit blasts every few yards that damage nearby enemies. Okay. Oh, here we go. And then Sunder. Sunder now empowers your steps with magma, causing you to your movement to erupt with fire every few yards, leaving a trail that burns enemies. What up, Necro? Vanguard season Thursday, February 27th. Hell yeah. Thank you, Ed. Red. Freeze Barb running Wrath could be interesting. And Freeze Barb running Wrath of the Berserker. Interesting, Gilga. Interesting. Huh. So for this one, this is obviously, so you're basically going to run Sundered, and then your Demoralized is going to give you the Firestorm, and then you're just going to hold, you're basically going to pop everything, and then just hit Demoralize and Sunder, and then spam Furious Charge. Now you're saying, obviously, Wrath of Berserker would be good. The demo essence only seemed to be work with that new head too. Oh, really? The new head is this one. So Demoralize now empowers your steps with wind, causing your movement to emit blasts every few yards. Now, Gilgamesh is saying, is saying that the demo essences only seem to be work with that new head, which could be the case. That could make sense. I mean, I'm assuming how it's intended. I tried playing BK. Needless to say, I was never happier to go back to Wizard. Worst 24 hours of my life. Oh no, Necro. Yeah, Wizard is bae. Blood Knight was in a rough spot. I had a rough time playing PvP with it, but I'm happy I did it, and I'm even happier to be off of it. And believe it or not, I'm actually having a good time on the monk. All right, so Barb is going to be the new helicopter class for sure. I don't see it being as good for PvP though. I could be wrong, but I don't see this being as good for PvP like the helicopter monk build is. But you guys let me know. Those of you that PvP on the barb a lot, again, I'm not a big barber. BK essences look good though. Oh god, no spoilers. Accursed Tower season through season reset Saturday 2. Okay. Lots of resets. So yeah, okay. The barb, this is gonna be really, really good for farming, I assume. Potential PvP, I don't know. Again, I need to see it. Sometimes like when they do some of these charge and channel ones, it becomes difficult to channel, like to control. So I'm curious if that's how Furious Charge is going to work. Where is it similar to the monk, where you have like full control and you can easily move and turn, or is it going to be like you're running so fast that you can't really turn? So like you have to take like a wide angle. You know what I mean? Like those are little things that I find very annoying, where you run into walls and shit because of that. But again, this seems really, really good for barb farming, even though they didn't need help with barb farming. All right, Blood Knights. All right, so main hand, Shadow's Edge increases your critical hit chance by 4% for 2 seconds when it hits, up to a maximum of 12. Meg, would you call me? All right, so, meh. Ellie says meh. So Shadow's Edge is going to increase your critical hit chance by up to 12% every time it hits. I'm assuming you can just keep that stacked since it's your primary attack. All right, offhand, Wave of Blood now radiates a wave of blood all around you, damaging and knocking up enemies while also increasing critical hit damage they take from your skills. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, if you get close enough with your Shadow's Edge to do like the melee damage instead of the range, and then you also hit them with Wave of Blood to pop them up, you could, I mean, that alone is a pretty hefty combo right there, just main hand, offhand. All right, chess piece. Abomination no longer consumes anger to transform you. Instead, empowers you, causing your skills to deal additional damage to nearby enemies. Interesting. So they're basically just taking Abomination and making it so you don't even turn it into Abomination. Instead, it just makes you stronger. Interesting. That chest, though. Yeah, that chest is crazy. This chest goes hard. So you're not going to transform anymore. You're just going to empower your other skills. This is going to make like every build better. So like all those BK builds that I had and that other people have, where you don't have like a fourth skill to use, and you're like, oh crap, like what essence do I use? And most of us just use Sanguinate or Transfusion. You could easily just use Abomination now, and all of your skills are stronger. It'll be interesting with other Abomination essences. Oh, that's true. That'll be true. Tonin with the raid. Welcome, Raiders. Hopefully you had a good stream, bud. Thank you so much for the raid. I greatly appreciate you. We're covering all the new essences and trying to figure out what top 3 classes are going to be like the meta based off these new essences. And as you can see, we're only on Blood Knight. Yo, what up, Soli? So yeah, I think this chest is gonna be wild. Now that's a good point though, Gilga. What does this do to all the other ones? So all the ones that are like Deering Abomination, you have like that AoE damage. Oh my, there's so many cool things we could do with this. And too bad I just got off the Blood Knight. All right, so pants. Yeah, thank you, bro. I appreciate you. Much love, much love. So Pants, Spear of Fury now targets an enemy and dashes them, damaging all enemies along your path, but each target can only be selected once every few seconds. Okay. Now targets an enemy, dashes to them, and damaging all enemies in your path, but each target can only be selected once every few seconds. I mean, this seems okay. I mean, like so far we got like 3 bangers of essences for the Blood Knight, and then like this Pants is just kind of mid. Okay, so Wave of Blood cooldown introduced by 0.5 seconds for each target hit, up to a maximum of 2 seconds. So that would require a lot. What, 4? No, 1 second, 2 seconds. Yeah, 4 people to hit to get a full 2-second refresh of your Wave of Blood. But your Wave of Blood also is going to be increasing your critical hit damage from the people that you pop up. So you could easily pop them up, have Abomination making your skills stronger, and just your primary attack within Shadow's Edge is going to be doing critical hit increase chance, and then you're also going to be doing more critical hit damage to them. That is crazy. What up, face shield mask? And then, all right, so that's the head. Now, shoulders. Abomination also increases your damage by 10% while active. Bro, what? I'll tell you right now, Blood Knight single target damage is about to be stupid good. Stupid good. I mean, literally, assuming that bosses won't be popped up, obviously, but will still get the additional crit hit damage that they increase. From a PvE aspect, like the Blood Knight's gonna be stupid good in raids, which is good. They had kind of mid damage, but for PvP also, like you could really go like more of an assassin style build. All right, this is pretty good so far. I'm gonna rank the Blood Knight ahead of the Barb, only because the new essences for the Barb don't change enough. Like the Barb already has some pretty good farming builds and some pretty good like Firestorm running and doing a bunch of damage and stuff. So like it's good, but it's not it'd be different for a different class, but like they already have basically that ability. So Blood Knight number 1, Barb number 2, Crusader. At least in my head. Let me know what you guys think though. Barb is bad. Yeah, I'm not a big Barb player myself. I'm a wizard main through and through. Wizard would be good with the crystal following. No, I haven't read it yet. Don't tell me. I haven't been on the wizard in a minute though, but I am a main wizard, so I do love me some wizard. All right, so Crusader, main hand. Punishment also applies a wanted mark for 3 seconds, increasing the movement speed of you and your allies by 50% while moving toward an enemy with the mark. Punishment though. Okay, isn't that your primary attack? Barb is suffering. Yeah, Barb is going through it, especially after those nerfs. Well, like the nerfs and then the indirect nerfs in PvP rather. Isn't that your primary attack? So you have to primary attack someone, you go bonk, and then it marks them for only 3 seconds, but then it increases your movement speed as you move toward them. The fuck? So this is gonna be good to like chase people down in PvP. That's it. Okay. Shield glare now surrounds you with an area of radiant justice for several seconds, during which emits you enemies within are automatically attacked and blinded. I wanted to make the Diablo I5 battle challenging, so I fought him without looking. Still, there was no challenge. Jesus, James. All right, so Shield Glare now surrounds you with an area of radiant justice for several seconds, during which enemies within are automatically attacked and blinded. Interesting. Dude, that's sick. Okay. Chest. Sacred Chains also applies Mark of Pain. This is a different mark. We have a wanted mark, and now I have a Mark of Pain to an enemy for 3 seconds, increasing your damage to them by 3% up to a maximum of 15%. The more damage that... What? Up to maximum of 15%, the more you damage that enemy. Okay, understood. Okay, so Chains is now going to make people take more damage from you. Cool. All right, so Pants, Shield Glare. Now we already have this one that surrounds you. Shield Glare deals increased damage to enemies the closer they are, up to a maximum of 20%. So this is going to go really, really well with that offhand. So if they're closer to you, they take up to 20% more damage. So that could be good for farming. That could also be good for PvP. So this is a pretty good overall builds, if you will, for the Crusader. All right, so Fist of the Heavens now targets an enemy to unleash a rain of fist at their location, dealing damage to nearby enemies. So instead of it being the monk that fists people, now it's the Crusader. All right, so Fist of Heavens now targets a enemy to unleash a rain of fist at their location, dealing damage to nearby enemies. So it's a point and click AoE that you can only do on an enemy and not to an area. So you can't use it for zoning. You have to put it on an enemy, at least the way that it reads. And we do have skills like that as well, or essences like that already. I don't love that one. All right, so Sacred Chain now empowers you, causing your attacks to mark enemies with chains that pull them to you once they have been hit with several attacks. I don't love they're not clarifying the several attacks. I don't love that. Like, what the hell? How many is several attacks? You know what I mean? Like, I want to know how many this is. Mortal Kombat Scorpion. That's exactly what it is. Get over here. Okay, so we have a Scorpion build. Yeah, get over here kind of stuff. Yeah, I love it. Okay, so Crusader is now the new Barb. Crusader is now the new Barb, essentially. So I'm going to go ahead and rank Crusader. Might be, I don't know, that's pretty good. So we got the mark that is that I don't love. That's gonna be good for hunting people down. You're also gonna pull them in with your Sacred Chains, so that's that. So as you run faster after them, you can pull them in, and then you have an AOE that will blind them as well as attack them, and then you're also gonna make them take more damage once they get hit by your Sacred Chains. I don't love the headpiece. So Fist of Heavens now targets an enemy to unleash a rain of fists at their location. But you have to target an enemy. All right, I'm going to put Crusader. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm just got done with the Blood Knight. I'm going to put the Blood Knight as 1, Crusader 2, Barb 3 so far. Okay, we're only 3 in, but right now Crusader's number 1, then Blood Knight, and then Barb. All right, Demon Hunter. Hopefully got some love, maybe. So main hand, Smoke Screen also increases your primary attack speed by 20% for 3 seconds. So just a straight up increase of primary attack speed. All right. Crossbow Shot, which is a primary attack, deals 15% increased damage to poisoned enemies. Okay, so this is going to be a lot of poison. We can already see. Chest Piece, Vengeance now causes you to erupt with a burst of toxins that damages and poisons all nearby enemies. You also passively attack poisoned enemies with piercing bolts. Passively attack. So as you cause vengeance, everyone is now poisoned, and then you passively attack them for an unknown amount of time. Okay. Pants. Smokescreen now infuses your weapon with toxins, causing your primary attack to poison enemies, and it trigger toxic explosions on critical hits. Okay, so Demon Hunter is basically Twitch from, what is that game called? From Riot Games. League of Legends. So the Demon Hunter is literally just Twitch from League of Legends. All right, so attacking a poison enemy during vengeance triggers a toxic burst, dealing additional damage, cannot occur more often than once every second per enemy. Okay, Shoulders, did I skip one? No. Shoulders, Rain of Vengeance now targets an area and unleashes a toxic rain of arrows. Dude, this is literally Twitch from League of Legends. That's crazy. So basically everything you do is going to be really good against a single target for poisons. Okay, now assuming that, now this is where things get interesting. Demon Hunter could be busted if there are more classes that give you poisonous buffs. So we'll put an asterisk on that. So like if they're the only one that are producing a lot of poison, then it's kind of like it's okay, like it's good for them. But if there's a lot of other classes that are producing poisons, or just have a fucking Viper's Bite. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and say top 3 right now is Blood Knight, Crusader, Demon Hunter. Monk. All right, so I am on the monk right now. So main hand, and I always get confused with the different names, so I might not be able to build out, at least compared to other ones. So 7-sided strike now targets an enemy, dashing to them, and alternating attacks between .dh, nothing new, used to be fire before. That's actually really well said, Face. Yeah, that's basically what it is. Instead of fire, it's poison, aka Twitch from League of Legends. All right, so 7-sided strike now targets an enemy, dashing to them and alternating in attacks between the target and nearby enemies. Beneficial effect, 2 primary attacks also affects the attacks of this skill. Okay. Targets an enemy, dashes to them, and alternates attacks between them and nearby enemies. So like you dash and then like, I assume this sounds like an iframe. Okay, so I think this is going to be an iframe. Although it doesn't say you're intargetable, how are you going to be targeted if you're dashing, unless it's just like you get hit by AoE damage? So this could be good. Okay, so offhand, Wave Strike now unleashes a wave of energy that pulls in all nearby enemies, damaging and marking them. What's up with all these marks, bro? I wanted to make I already read that. Crusader and Necro both feature marks, likely to be paired with Wolfhort and preset builds. Darren, that's a good point. That's a good comm right there. I like that. What was that? Crusader and Necro. Okay. All right, so primary attack. Did I read this? Oh god, I mixed up. Wave Strike now unleashes a wave that pulls all enemies and damaging and marking them. Primary attacks deal additional damage to marked enemies. Okay, and Monk also have marks. Okay. Flying Dragon now empowers your next few primary attacks with wind, causing them to pull in nearby enemies with each hit. Okay. Flying Dragon cooldown is reduced by 0.5 seconds for each enemy hit, up to a maximum of 1.5. Oh, word. All right, so the head, Shield of Zen, also increases your skill damage by 15% for 3 seconds. Oh, that's just straight up buff. Just straight up buff an effort by 15%. Shoulders, 7-sided strike cooldown is reduced by 0.5 seconds for each enemy hit, up to a maximum of 1.5 seconds. Defeating an enemy player reduces the cooldown by 3 seconds. Interesting. So a little bit of a reset mechanic there. Okay, so we have, that's 7-sided, right? So this is gonna be a fun ass build for the monk. So basically 7-sided strike is your main damage. Wave Strike unleashes a wave of energy that pulls nearby enemies in. Okay. Flying Dragon. So basically, you're going to close the gap with 7-sided strike. You're going to do Flying Dragon to buff your primary attack. No, okay. So you're going to hit Shield of Zen, also increases your skill damage, which means it's also going to shield you still with that headpiece. So you're going to pop Shield of Zen, jump on the 7-sided strike, pop Flying Dragon to buff your primary attack, and then just beat the ever-loving shit out of them. And then if they start to run away, do Wave Strike. Might have switched back to Monk. Did I miss the Wiz ones? Just got the notification you were on. What up, CV viewer? We are not at that yet. But I will say, unbiasedness, this Monk PvP build sounds so much fun. I'm getting a lot of dashiness, a lot of burst damage. I like this Monk. All right, look, call me biased. I don't give a fuck. But Monk number 1, and then Blood Knight, and then Crusader. All right. Where am I at? So Monk, you're biased. What up, Booming? I'm biased as fuck. Good to see you, man. All right, so the Monk is dope as hell. All right, now Necromancer. How many do we have left? We have Necro, Tempest, Wizard, and that's it. Okay, so far, Monk, Blood Knight, what'd I say? Crusader. Okay, Necro, right? Necro. Now, Necro usually has some pretty sick essences, so let's see what they get. Grim Scythe now targets an enemy and hurls a scythe that applies the Reaper's mark. Son of a biscuit. Where's he at? Darren, we got another motherfucking mark. Okay, so we have another mark. People still gonna cry about barbs and monks in BG? Fair. Ooh, Tonin says it's gonna be Wiz, Monk, Tempest, and BK. Okay. We haven't read the Tempest or the Wiz yet, so that's interesting. All right, so Grim Scythe now targets an enemy and hurls a scythe that applies the Reaper's mark, which triggers a sweeping scythe when the target takes damage. But Grim Scythe is such a a small window to hit someone with. Like I don't love that unless they're changing it with that essence. All right, offhand. Bone Spirits now conjures a wraith that follows you and continuously hurls soul fires at nearby enemies. Okay. Bone Spirits damage to the same enemy increases by 6% with each hit, up to a maximum of 18%. Okay, so this is going to make it pretty good. These two are going to be pretty good for PvE, for like raids and dungeons, because you're going to be hitting the same enemy a lot. So you're going to get just a straight up increase of 18% damage. Pants. Dark Curse now reanimates corpses into spectral hounds that attack nearby enemies. Interesting. Now, my curiosity is this one of those summons where it's length of time being active is tied to its health? So like you summon a spectral hound with Dark Curse and then it just ticks down until it inevitably dies, or do you keep it until it's killed? You know what I mean? Like what kind of, so are you claiming Blizzard pissed on the monk when you say number one? Blizzard pissed on the monk when you say number one? Yeah, they're going to nerf the shit out of it. Darren said the whole update is going to be about promoting Wolf Hort. Watch if all these feature that gem and build for inventory. If all these feature that gem and build for an inventory. Oh yeah, I mean that's true. I forgot what Wolf Hort does. I'll have to look that up after this. What up, Deso? We're doing great, bro. We're trying to figure out what are the best top 3 classes with these new essences. So far, we're saying it's Monk, Blood Knight, Crusader. But we're on Necro. I'm hearing the Wizard is good though, so that's got me excited. As a Wizard main, I'm pretty excited about that. All right, so head. Grim Scythe also marks enemies for 2 seconds. If a marked enemy is attacked 5 times, the mark explodes and deals damage to nearby enemies. Okay, Dark Curse marks its target for 6 seconds, but it also reanimates corpses, causing them to explode on death, dealing damage to nearby enemies. I'm gonna be honest, Necro is probably last. This is the most baseline Necro it could have been. I'm moving on. I like that's just bottom right now. Bottom tier is the Necro. Damn. Did you hit Paragon 700 already? Nah, bro. I'm what, 688? Ain't nothing good yet, bro. I gotta hit it before Wednesday though. All right, so Tempest. The main hand. When Storm Fury deals damage, it increases your critical hit chance by 4% for 3 seconds, up to a maximum of 12%. All right, so Storm Fury has to deal damage and it increases your critical hit up to 12. All right. Crosswinds now dashes forward, firing several wind blades at nearby enemies. Dash distance and number of wind blades increases based on your movement speed. Okay. All right. Riptide now generates, this is a chess piece. Riptide now generates energy while you move. And once you, oh no, here we go. And once full, you can activate it to dash forward on a wave, damaging, oh, never mind. That's not at all what I thought it was. I was thinking this is going to be another helicopter build, but it's like the inverse. So instead of just using your energy, you have to generate energy to use the attack. I like that a lot less, actually. So Riptide now generates an energy while you move, and once full, you can activate to dash forward on a wave, damaging and knocking back enemies. I feel like this is just an unnecessary step to use a skill. I don't know why they would do that. But maybe it makes sense. All right, so hold on, that's Riptide. Crosswinds also increase the damage of your next skill by 30% for 4 seconds. All right, so Crosswinds is the dash that also fires several blades. So this is going to be your introduction, like your intro attack. So you're going to go with Crosswinds. Riptide's going to be almost random because you have to generate energy for it. Storm Fury is going to deal damage, increase your critical hit chance. Okay, so you're going to do Crosswinds into Storm Fury and then fucking just hurt her on Riptide so far. All right, so there you go. If Riptide inflicts loss of control or knockback on the enemy, the damage they take is increased by 15% for 3 seconds. It's like Hoda. The more damage it is more powerful. Oh, it is like Hoda. You're right. Okay. All right. I didn't think about it like that. See, I never played the Hoda build, so I wouldn't have thought like that. But thank you, Deso. Appreciate you, bro. All right. So if it inflicts loss of control, which it should, unless they have an immunity on, the damage they take is increased by 15% for 3 seconds. So they increase total damage taken by 15%. Okay. For 3 seconds. Storm Fury now empowers you. This is the last one. Shoulders. Surrounding you with a swirling, shredding winds that increase your movement speed and continually pull in and damage your enemies. All right. So this is a good build for the Tempest. It's very bursty. It's very movement speed, high damage, high reward, zero like tankiness at all, obviously, but it's the assassin class, right? So it is one we have come to expect with the Tempest. I think it'll be fun, but I don't think I'm going to put it above the Blood Knight. I think the Blood Knight is just so different for the class. Like an assassin Blood Knight sounds really cool, whereas this style of Tempest is very consistent. And like for me, I look for what is a build going to be exciting in a different kind of way. So for me, I don't know, but this is, I don't know, maybe no, I will put it above Blood Knight because I bet you the Tempest is going to do more damage than the Blood Knight because that's the way it's supposed to work. You know what I mean? So now, all right, I'm going to say Monk. Monk, Tempest, Crusader. Top 3. All right, now we're on a Wizard. All right, so Tonin said Wizard was top. That's crazy. All right, let's see what this is. Main hand. Disintegrate also drains energy from enemies, recovering 1 energy for each time it hits. All right, so we have to be on the lookout for energy now. Interesting. Lightning Nova also increases your attack and movement speed by 10% for 3 seconds. And that's an offhand. Okay. Attack speed and movement speed. Ice Crystal now conjures a crystal that follows you, dealing damage to nearby enemies every second. While active, your channeled rays will automatically refract onto enemies. Damn. All right, so here's the thing, though. We're increasing our movement speed and our attack speed, and this follows us. But most, at least so far, most channeled skills stop you from moving. Disintegrate also drains energy from enemies. All right, so we got to find it. So far, they really need a channeled ability on the Wizard that can be used while you're moving. All right, Disintegrate damage increases the longer it is channeled, up to a maximum of 30%. Okay. Ice Crystal also shatters enemy armor, increasing the damage they take from skills by 15%. All right, so this is this is good. But I still, and then the last one is Ray of Frost also weakens enemies, decreasing the damage they deal by 10% for 2 seconds. All right, so you're going to want to use Ray of Frost, but there's nothing else that does anything for Ray of Frost. Ice Crystal will follow you and shatter enemy armor and automatically refract into multiple beams, which is really, really good. But then the Lightning Nova thing is just random. Because you're like, it's good that it follows you and increases your movement speed. Ray of Frost is not good. I guess I'm back to Wiz. Yeah, so like, do you just ignore the shoulders then? So my confusion here is that, isn't it the pants? No, it's an offhand. The Disintegrate conjures by itself. Yeah, I don't think, yeah, okay, good. Yeah, I agree. I don't think these essences are meant to be played together. But isn't it an offhand where Disintegrate will attack by itself? And it shoots like the little beams. So you could do that. And you could do this. Which is going to make it... Those are shoulders if I'm remembering correctly. Oh, maybe they are shoulders? Okay. So, well, that's fine. So we're saying fuck the shoulders. So shoulders, and we have Disintegrate pants that are increasing damage the longer it's up, which is fine. We'll get the maximum usage out of it with that. With that essence, the one I'm thinking of at least. And then they'll still bounce off the Ice Crystal, dealing damage. But it's already going to be like, it already shoots a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of possibility with this moving crystal, but I'm having a really hard time. I don't know if there's any portable beam that you can use while you're moving. Chat, do y'all know? They have the ones that instantly shoot. I know those. But I don't think there's any other like walking beams. All right. So that's not... Disintegrate also drains energy from enemies. This one's also random. Like all of these seem good, but not, to Ellie's point, not necessarily together. So I think the Wizard, this is good for the Wizard because it does exactly what I always love about the Wizard, which is that there's so many different builds when you get these essences. Whereas like the Monk obviously makes a ton of sense for all the essences to be used together. These are all totally random, it seems like. And there are several different abilities you could use with these. It just, like, I want the Ice Crystal to be good for PvP, but like the reason the Wizard is so good in PvP right now is that it can zone the shit out of everyone. and you don't have enough tankiness just to walk around with an ice crystal on you. Like, you know what I mean? Usually use ice crystal to throw in front of you to help like get around a corner or like hit people that are far away. So like this headpiece is going to be dope because it's going to shatter enemy armor, increasing the damage they take. So you could literally just obliterate people with ice crystal probably. All right, so top 3. You do if you know how to dodge. I wonder how that's going to work with teleport. Ah, that's a good point. If it comes with you through the teleport. That's a good question. Now you do lose a lot of teleport essences by this being on the headpiece. But I think they also have pants that teleport. They do, actually, yeah. The shoulders are the one that gives you the shield, though. So you could use the teleport shoulders. Okay, so there's some options. All right. All right, so my top 3 is still going to be Monk, in my very biased opinion. It's going to be Monk. God. Monk, Tempest, Crusader. Monk, Tempest, Crusader are going to be the meta, in my opinion. Let me know if I'm wrong. If new essences feel like Christmas, then you know your time and money are being spent in the right game. That's true. It does feel like Christmas, yeah. I'm excited about all these. True. All right, so that's it. I think that the Monk is going to be the dopest. I can't wait. I'm already on the Monk, so I'm going to come out with a bunch of fun builds. Can't wait. But I do want to try out some of those wizard builds. Those are very unique. I didn't rank it high because there's not a full build. We're just using those. But I like the idea of the different builds that come from those essences. All right, cool.